think this is a bad place to be expanding to. I think that Zerg should be expanding to here. It's much easier to defend. If you have a big ground army, you want the area that's closer by ground. Sure, they could put some tanks up here, but what should you do? You should have overlords spotting along this entire area, so that way you can spot them before they get there. So here's the overseer just sort of trailing behind, wearing a nice long scarf. We see it trailing there in the wind. Here's a medevac who's just really in love. Really just wants to know what this overseer's up to. And this is my experience with... Oh, no, okay. I was going to be like, yeah, that's my experience with chasing girlies. I just get shot to death by a bunch of hydralists. So we do have a whole bunch of more units pushing up here. Still, I'm not the... I guess this is reasonable, trying to do some pushing up here to negate this expansion, but really, because it's so vulnerable, drops seem fantastic to me. Drops seem just bejugular. Or just getting up there and building a whole bunch of auto turrets. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Right before this hatchery is able to even cancel. Still no upgrade on the vehicle plating. Here come a whole bunch of roaches. It looks like no target firing on there. Roaches, obviously, are going to be a lot better against these auto turrets. The auto turrets are really just damage takers. And Zergling killers. Wakardal is said by Sue. If I could get a translation on that, that would be fantastic. Perhaps he was just upset and was just like, Wakardal! Wouldn't be surprised that made such noises when losing. So here's a whole bunch. Oh my god. Oh, Banelings! Oh. Yeah, that's why I really like Hydra, Baneling, Zergling. And target firing the Banshees, really smart move, not just because you get to kill Banshees. Or, excuse me, target firing the Ravens. Wow, I wonder how many times I've made that mistake this game. But shooting down the Ravens, not good, or excuse me, not only good because you're killing the Ravens, but also good because you're killing the sightseers up on the high ground. Always a big MO for range units up on high ground areas. And, you know, someone might be watching this and be saying, well, okay, in this position we have a whole bunch of Terran units. They could have easily killed off this expansion if they had expanded here the way you were saying, Day 9. Aha, but I would argue to you that Zerg was out of position with all these other units. And if he was in a better position with a better arc, he would have been able to do significantly more damage. But either way, some awesome back and forth action. I'm loving the fact that we have masses of Banelings dealing huge amounts of damage, and the game is still going on. That is so cool to me. It reminds me of the way that Lurkers behave in the original Brood War. It gives me excitement. It gives me hope. And of course, Zerg going for the vulnerability, this bottom right location. Super smart. Incredibly smart play by Zerg to just try to take that out. Because as Zerg gets more overcommitted to up here, the bottom right becomes way more vulnerable, and roaches are pretty damn fast with that speed upgrade. So here they come darting in, one-shotting all these mules. Oh my god, and Terran just goes, oh shit. And it's just like, well, I guess I'll attack too. I want to fit in. In this game, I want to make sure he knows that I'm cool too, but I mean, really running low on resources for both players. One issue with roaches, you cannot kill a floating orbital command, but that's okay. He's just going to continue to counterattack here. And big swing forward by Teletha here, killing off this hatch. I really wish Sue would have hid those units up here. Really, those units aren't going to be doing anything. And wow, these roaches are really getting in there. So, wow, I have this covered up. I have no clue how far we are into this game. But this is pretty awesome because I recall this being a longer one. So I'm hoping, I'm a praying that we actually still have like 10 minutes left, because I would be curious to see a way that either player would manage to pull this out. Right now, I'd give the advantage to Teletha, just because he has a really nice army composition. It looks like Sue's ahead in food, but if we go to the unit counting station, note that Zerg has a ton of drones, and Teletha only has 6 SCVs. So really, almost all of Teletha's army is in units. So he really needs to do a lot with this huge last push, or he's done. He is eliminated. So we have 2 more medevacs coming out, just going to be doing a little bit of healing. One Marine who apparently got lost and found his way up there. The Lone Marauder, who is 3-0. Still, I really want to see a little bit more armor there. Really helps a lot against those Zerglings and those Hydra shots. Because Hydras do a lot of damage, partly because their fire rate is so high. So if you can get the armor up, it helps to deal with that. Because they're not doing that much damage per shot. So the armor adds up a lot over time. Huge push coming up by Teletha. And Sue making more Banelings. What a superhero. And also cleverly, completely not noticing that there's a huge army at his front gates. And, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, let's just make some more Banelings. What a good boy. Good Sue. Rushing forward with more Banelings. And on creep, Banelings move so fast. So good to incorporate overlords into your army and just do vomit creep and spread them over. where you think he's going to be as you advance. It lets the Banelings really get in there and do serious damage. So here comes round 2 of Banelings. Now neither player really has anything mining. Oh my god, the Zerglings with the Surrounding to absorb the damage, and Banelings to deal the damage, and Hydralisk to sort of sit and oversee everything and do a little bit of spitting. But Teletha not looking so good. So I would give the advantage to Sue because he's tripling his opponent's food. So this is a tough spot. Obviously, it's going to be really hard. With 3 orbital commands, though, you can get quite a few mules. But Terran's not giving up yet. So this is weird. Dude, Zerg doesn't have any money. Zerg's trying to take the gold. He's long-range mining. He only has some Hydralisks. Oh, man, you don't want to engage that, Terran. You have to back up. You have to get out of there. So Terran is trying to make more stuff, but going to his production tab, he really is only making SCVs trying to get back into this game. Oh, God, I want to take a peek, but then it'll spoil it for you, too. Oh, my goodness, I want to take a little peek-a-roo-ha. So here is Teletha continuing to mine down here. Long-range mining, and I love... Oh, look at that great sort of scrappiness by Zerg, moving that spine crawler all the way up there. Getting a little bit of a bonus. One thing that just to note about spine crawlers, because they have range 7, they're super good right touching the top of ramps, because they can see quite far down there. And it's very difficult for Marauders to like kite and micro and do all that stuff. So, Teletha going for his own little gold expo and coming back to the resource station. God, it really looks like Sue is super broke. Oh no, sorry. I was going to say Sue is super broke, but then I saw the Banelings and realized that, in fact, Sue was just being super awesome. Oh my god, I love Banelings. And so there's the little eye poke by the Spine Crawler, or the Spine Tickler, as Louder calls them. But again, at this point in time, I don't think there's any reason to get Ravens. You just want this really efficient Marine Marauder army. The mobility and the fact that they just deal so much damage and are so fast, it's just... the ideal choice. Until they're doing the smart thing, staying low on SCVs, making more units, and just purely relying on mules. That is so smart whenever you're up against the wall. In fact, a lot of cheesy rushes involve taking all your SCVs, but then just muling, and then you can support yourself very easily in that regard. So this really is Zerg's last hope. I would sincerely pray that the Terran's doing a lot of scanning here. And oh, look at Zerg. Oh, so smart by Zerg bringing more of these things, Zerglings. There we go, that's the word. But that's why I doubly love that Teletha's taking this. This is not just a high-yield expansion. This is the safest place on the map, given these units. But I am really curious if he can manage to deal with these Banelings. He's getting his gas up right now. Dude, this is exciting. Oh my god, I really feel like Teletha, who's down 25 food, might have a chance if he can micro this perfectly. I don't know how he's going to pick off these Banelings, though. Here come the Zerglings, and there's the stim. Oh my god, he's trying to back up. He might even want to put some SCVs in the middle there. But here come the Banelings. Oh, he's doing... What a really nice spread by Teletha. Oh my goodness, look at that spread. Oh my god, did you see him spread his Marines out? Did you see that? He just made like a ring of Marines, and there were just the Banelings in the middle. Sure, you can attack on any of the possible sides, but... Oh my god, let me just play and back that up. So I'm going to press this, I'm going to rewind just a little bit. And now this is a micro technique that you saw a lot in Starcraft 1. So let's do a little demonstration here. So suppose that we have these Hydralisks here. And suppose it's the original Brood War, and we have some Zealots here. And the Zealots are wailing on these Hydrals. What most people do is they'll select all of them, right-click here, to move the Hydralisk back to, say, like here, move it back just left a little bit, and then they'll hit attack. And then they'll move back here and hit attack. And then they'll move back here and they'll hit attack. And then they'll move back here and hit attack. A lot of times what's useful is to cut these first 3 Hydralisks and to move them down here. Move these 3 Hydralisks down when they're getting wailed from here. And then move these 3 Hydralisks up. And what happens is you have Hydralisks here, here, and here, and the Zealots are in the middle, which means that wherever the Zealots attack, whether they attack the top, the left, or the bottom, they're moving away from the rest of the Hydralisks. This is the same sort of thing that's going on here. While these Banelings are here, not only does a spread help minimize the damage, but wherever the Banelings move, if Banelings, let's say all these Banelings decided to move here to kill these guys, they're moving away from these Marines and away from these Marines, giving them more time to fire. So see, look, they go down here, they shoot these, all these Marines are getting 3 shots off, and they're able to kill some of the Banelings. What a beautiful spread. What incredible, phenomenal kick-assery Teletha? Tooth? That Tooth is showing us. And of course, just Mass orbital command leapfrogging, and of course if any of you played hopscotch, you'll definitely know that that's an excellent strategy. And zerg, of course, I'd call this saturated. I don't really need to do any calculation, but that just feels saturated to me. And of course zerg just continuing to expand around a little bit more. Zerg remembering that those banelings were awesome. And again, this is the ideal position to be in. Oh my god, is he going to notice those? He does. Wow, good eye, Teletha. And he's continuing to make a lot of Marines and Marauders. Mainly Marines, though. Don't want to make too many Marauders, because you want the Marauders to absorb a lot of the damage and to slow down with that concussive shell. If you ever research it, maybe you can get the concussive shell. But, you know, he can do that. And these will take the hits, and these Marines, look how many more Marines there are. Those will be the ones that truly, truly deal the damage. A little bit of medevac scouting, like that play. See some